How about a little bit of story time? So this story is appropriately titled Deathbox 36660.
Oh boy.
My name is Richard. It was an average day when my brother called me into the kitchen. My brother loved me very much, and I almost yelped with glee when he showed me a peculiar clear disc case. Within it was a disc with the letters Sonic 0666. I thought that the previous owner of the disc had written too many sixes when he had had this disc, so I disregarded it. I ran over to everyone's favorite home console, the Xbox 360. That might be the funniest part. And popped the disc inside the disc tray. When the Xbox was reading the disc, it almost sounded like the Xbox was screaming. Actually, depending on what's going on with your 360, that might be considered normal. But I just thought that the laser was being strained. I closely gazed at the television screen, and then I could see the loading screen for Sonic 06. When I hit the Start Game button, it showed Sonic's model. Something was a little off, though. His eyes were bloodshot, and his gloves were dripping blood. I continued on strong, though. After all, it was a burnt game, must just be a glitch. We're willing to write off a lot in these stories for it was just a glitch.
That scene is appropriate here.
When the cutscene where the castle is burning and Robotnik steals the princess and Sonic comes to save her, all the townspeople are screaming, "Help, Sonic!" But it seemed a little like they were talking to me. What, is your name Sonic? Suddenly the screen turned black and all I could see was nothing. Then the screen turned to a pale white color, and I could see Dr. Robotnik's face. But he was covered in... what kind of blood?
Hyper-realistic?
Yeah.
Yay.
He bared his teeth, and his gums were dripping... blood.
Oh.
And he snarled, "Get a load of this!"
Oh my god, no!
And the game flashed and loaded Rooftop Run from Sonic Unleashed. Only the sky was...
Red.
What kind of red?
Bloody red.
Close enough. Yeah. I could see in the distance, Tails, everyone's favorite fox, was hanging from a tree by his entrails. He also had multiple stab wounds in his chest and a large gash in his face. He was also missing his legs, his eyes turned red, and he started flying. But his tails weren't moving. Must just be a glitch. No, it doesn't say that.
Oh man!
He flew right at me, but past me and flew right out of my television screen. He told me, "There's no escape!" And he grabbed my legs and ripped one off. Huh. He told me that if I didn't keep playing, he would rip the other one off. No reaction to this, Ron.
So nonchalant about that. It's like, yeah, he just ripped my leg off.
I turned back to the television screen, trying to ignore the sting in my leg.
It's just a flesh wound.
You don't have a leg anymore.
Yes, I do.
Look.
I still got one.
And started making Sonic run. The screen darkened to a blood-curdling black. And Robotnik appeared again. This time he didn't look like Robotnik, though. He looked like a really large old man in a red suit. Santa Claus, no! He spat at the screen, and the Xbox 360 started to boil. Upon closer examination, the Xbox no longer had a 360, but a 36660! Dun dun dun. Tentacles started to burst out of the disc drive. Oh no.
Oh.
And blood was oozing from the fan. A tentacle wrapped itself around my throat, and I was quickly impaled by the knife. Wait, what knife? Who was knife?
The phone?
I quickly broke... I quickly woke up, drenched in sweat and other stuff. Please don't get into the other stuff.
Uh,
I was on what looked like a dance floor. But everything else was just a void. Dr. Robotnik walked from a cloud of fog right next to me and whispered into my ear, "You're mine."
I thought you were gonna say he was gonna whisper, "Get a load of this."
I was engulfed by a seemingly endless wave of what kind of blood?
Hyper-realistic.
Yay. Gasping for breath. I was swallowed by the hyper-realistic blood, and so I choked to death. In hyper-realistic blood. I was never heard from again. The end?
How did he write the story?
he was a ghost or something. A
Part
ghost
2,
writer.
the making of Deathbox 3660.
Oh, for fuck's sake.